dungeon too. You think actually it's summer, right? But it feels like winter. Absolutely feels like winter today. So let me know, how's your day been going? Look at the state of my hair. I've not long done a class online, so I'm a bit sweaty and hot. So yes, how's your day been going? It's been chucking it down most of the UK. So I think most of us have had a low energy day, courtesy of the weather. But yeah, let me know how you're doing. Tonight I want to talk about inflammation and it being a mood killer and what that actually means and how it feels in your body and what you can do about it and why it matters ultimately. So inflammation, is it something that you've heard of? Something that maybe you've experienced yourself? Let me know your thoughts on that one. I think it's one of these things where people talk about the body being inflamed. So often it's a wound, isn't it? It's like a wound. Oh, there's inflammation in the joints. We hear about that with arthritis and things like that. But actually, it's more than just in your body in terms of it can be in your brain too. So I want to talk about inflammation because there's also a number of products on the market. I know people are definitely tuning into things like turmeric as a vitamin in terms of reducing joint pain and things like that too. So I want to drop in and talk about that. But yeah, let me know your name if you're on the StreamYard. And if you're catching on the replay, hashtag replay. Let me know what value you've taken away from tonight. All right, let's get into it. Because you know I'm all about giving you direct value and our time is precious. Alrighty, so if you are in your 40s and above, chances are that you start to notice with perimenopause some changes in your body. Now, that can be in terms of energy, that can be in terms of achy joints. You might find when you are coming up to your menstrual phase, up to your period, that suddenly your knees are really aching or your hips are really achy. Hips are a big one for us females. And you might be thinking, what is going on? Is this what happens when you get older? But I'm not even that old yet. And the chances are it's inflammation that's hidden. And it can really mess with our mood and our energy because if your body is aching, you're not going to want to move much. And pain and discomfort can be all consuming. So it can take over everything. So that's all we're thinking about, the discomfort in our knee, discomfort in our hip, going, oh my God, is this what older life's going to be like? And it can mess with your natural rhythm and steal your energy. But as I mentioned, it doesn't stop within the body. It can also go to the brain. So you can get brain fog, memory hiccups, general feeling of kind of chaos and not really on top of things. And you might find it's not even multitasking. Like multitasking, you feel like you can't do anymore. You're just jumping from one thing to another and not achieving anything. And I know certainly there's days where words escape me. I just can't get the words out, or I say some crazy things like get your foot to your ear, and I'm like, what are you actually saying? So yeah, it can affect the mind as well as the body. And also some days you can find maybe your balance is a bit off. So with hormones, it messes with your balance in terms of you can be a bit more clumsy. I can find that I'm a bit more clumsy before I have my period. I do crazy things that I don't normally do, just as much as like walking into a wall with your shoulder, things like that. And then if I go to teach any balance moves, I can find that I'm just a bit all over the place. And that's my hormones leading to the kind of brain fog, the hiccups, the imbalances as well. But you can work on it. So as much as inflammation can impact your joints, your memory, your balance, there are things you can do about it. And as I said, I think most of us kind of relate it to arthritis and people talking about the joints being inflamed and see it as maybe a thing people get later in life opposed to right now. But certainly there's things you can do about it. So what are the sort of things? Well, I mentioned about turmeric. So things like turmeric, green tea as well is really good. But the biggest anti-inflammatory is your turmeric. Now you get different qualities of this. So I always say, do your research on vitamins. The ingredient you're having, so if it's a turmeric vitamin supplement, then the first ingredient on the list should be turmeric. If it's caking agents, other random weird things, then it's not necessarily the best quality. So you do need to shop around and seek out. So look for turmeric up front. And some people swear by it and say taking it, whatever it might be one tablet, it might be 3 tablets, it really helps them. And some people who I know in the past have had like quite bad inflammation in the knees, again, they swear by a supplement to help with that too. But if you're not wanting to take supplements, even if they're natural, what else can you do about it? Well, it's going to be about nourishing your body, getting a colourful plate full of rich foods, different colours, to help soothe inflammation. And obviously, we talk about omegas, omega-3s, and you can get those in fish and flax seeds. So again, you don't have to take a supplement. So think about your flax seeds. It's something I always give my clients, and fish as well is obviously a good source too. So think about what you can do around the supplement like turmeric, and then think about what you can do in terms of your food, getting all the different colors in, all the different foods, and fish as well is obviously great, and then your flaxseed as well. And it's about staying active. So exercise helps reduce inflammation and it keeps the joints happy. Our body is made for movement. So when we stop, such a conversation I had today with a client who's done a lot of exercise while they've been away. And now because they've been seated and been traveling a bit, their body's absolutely aching today. So we get the body moving. And I know I've got many clients who find that when they're sitting doing their work, I've got quite a few clients who are writers, and they really struggle with like the pain and discomfort in the body. And then we have our session and they're like, oh, I feel much better. I feel energized. So there is some research actually that I've just been reading about where when you're seated, you still get inflammation from seating, and your body's like wants you to move. And it's that whole thing about actually we're made to move. So when we're sitting, we're actually, inflammation can happen. If you think about the muscles you're using, especially if you're seated in the same position for a long time, then you're stressing the muscles and not necessarily in a positive way, which means we can start getting inflammation in our joints and our bones just from sitting and being inactive too. So movement really does help with it. And especially, if it's still weather like this, it's not great, but it's going to make you feel better if you get out and move your body opposed to sitting inside looking at the weather and going, oh, it's another rubbish day. And as I mentioned, herbal teas, so turmeric tea, ginger tea, also known as anti-inflammatory, hydration. I always talk about watering your joints. You spoke about a week ago or so about watering your spine, that actually when you're asleep, your spine, the intervertebral discs open, which allows the in and out, if you like, of fluid, water, minerals to help keep those discs intact. That helps with absorption in your spine. And that's the same for all your joints. All your joints, your knees, your back, your shoulders, all that stuff. So hydration, not just water, but that inflammatory of ginger, of turmeric. And these things have been around for so long. So there's got to be something in it, right? So having those two. And then relaxation, because if your body's tense, we talk about stress being a killer. And we know in the corporate world, the pressures that go on in the corporate world to work long hours. It's like seen as like sleep's not a good thing because you're not busy, you're going to be hustling. And it's that thing, there's no prizes for not sleeping. Do you know, it's that kudos, the ego almost of I'm too busy to sleep, I'm too busy to get stuff done. But ultimately, when it comes to your health, there's no prizes around that. You're just going to cause yourself ill health and damage further down the line. So really think about relaxation that you can do. It might be getting out for a walk, helps clear your mind if you're stressed, maybe doing a meditation, maybe it's even just spending a bit of time stretching, having a long bath. Anything that can calm your mind is going to help your brain with the inflammation. And then, as I mentioned, the sleep, prioritizing sleep, quality sleep is healing, it's for overall wellness. There's so much stuff that we know about sleep. So if you're somebody as well, tune into it, because it's normal that we do wake up in the night, but tune into how much sleep is for you. I'm normally good on about 6.5, 7 hours. But yeah, listen to your body and see what's needed. If you find yourself sleeping more than normal, maybe you're a bit under the weather, and it's okay, just go with that. But don't beat yourself up because you're like, oh my God, I've been asleep for 8, 9 hours. Well, maybe that you needed that sleep. Your body needed that. And then spice it up. So things like turmeric, cinnamon, garlic, all these natural ingredients you can add into your meals. Again, I've seen for years and years in Indian cooking around anti-inflammatory properties. And like say for your diet overall, it's thinking about natural foods, avoiding the convenience, avoiding the ultra processed, focus on natural foods, your garlic, your turmerics, your gingers. These are the key ingredients around anti-inflammatory products, getting all the colors in, then moving your body, try not to stay seated for hours and hours on end, moving your body, even if it feels a bit achy, even if you're feeling a bit stressed out, it's going to really help. So think about how you can calm your nervous system, calm the stress, move your body in a gentle way. I'm not saying about HIIT. I mean, if that works for you and that's a great stress relief, then go do a HIIT class. But yeah, get the body moving, get your sleep in, get your hydration, all your colors, your flaxseed, your turmeric, your garlic, your ginger. And again, if you struggle to get those in your diet naturally, then look at a supplement, but make sure the number one ingredient is the supplement you're going to be taking. So avoid ones that aren't that great quality. So that is my summary around inflammatory and it being a mood killer. And I like to say, it's that whole thing is think about when you don't feel great. You're not going to then be a great person to be around. You might turn it on for a work colleague and go, hey, how you doing? I'm good. How are you? But yeah, really think about how you feel when you're under the weather or your body's aching or it feels heavy or you're feeling stressed and you've got a fog in the brain. Yeah, those things are all signs of implementation and implementation. I can't even say it anymore. I've gone into project world, implementation. And think about the things you can take and do in your natural diet day and day to help with it. And it's going to lift your mood. It's going to help with the brain fog. It's going to help with the fatigue and overall just how you feel in your body. Like rather than your body and you fighting, actually fuel it to help reduce the inflammation and we'll get there. We'll get you in a good place, lift your energy so you're able to do the things you want to do day to day. All right, team. Coach Julie, all things training and nutrition. Let me know any questions on that. I will pop a post on with more detail. Hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. And yes, implementation. I can't say it anymore. I've said it so much I can no longer say it. But yeah, have a good evening. But any questions on that, you know how to catch me. I'll see you all tomorrow.